So last week we talked about the DaoVua Kiri Cleaver. This week I want to introduce you guys to possibly the best budget Gyuto for under $60. And it is the DaoVua Leaf Spring Gyuto. Disclaimer, I bought this knife 110% with my own money, paid for shipping and all. I do not have any kind of affiliations with neither Chef Knives to Go nor DaoVua, so that way you guys know I'm not trying to peddle some shit and trying to sell you this knife. If you've seen last week's video, go ahead and skip several minutes forward to skip this repeated information. But if you are new here, if you can do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Now, if you have not heard of DaoVua before, DaoVua is a multi-generational forge based out of Vietnam. You can get their full story over at Chef Knives to Go's website, and I'm not going to bore you with all that information. Currently, DaoVua makes two different lines of knives. They have a spring steel version and a pipeline version. Now, what's really cool about the DaoVua brand is that most of their knives, if not all of their knives, are made out of recycled steel. Their spring steel version being recycled automotive leaf springs, and their pipeline version being recycled oil and gas energy pipeline steels. Before you pick up one of these guys, I do want to mention that Chef Knives to Go called the entire DaoVua line quote-unquote project knives. Now, don't run off just yet. Just stick with me for 1 second. The reason they call it the project knives is because the fit and finish is just not going to be perfect like a $200 Japanese Gyuto you're going to get, which is understandable because this is a $55 knife. Now, the second thing is that it doesn't come out of the box extremely sharp. Don't run off just yet. Just 1 more second. That is an extremely easy fix, which I have done already with the Kiri Cleaver last week. Just several minutes on a whetstone, and you get a razor sharp edge on this sucker. So the version I have right here is the spring steel version. The pipeline version, according to Chef Knives to Go's website, is that it has a harder steel and also has a better edge retention due to the harder steel. It also has a more ergonomic handle compared to this one. But the reason I like the spring steel version is because the spring steel version's profile more resembles a traditional Gyuto style, whereas the pipeline version has a much curvier belly on it, which I'm personally not a fan of. But if you like a curvier belly, maybe the pipeline version is a good fit for you. Now, why do I recommend this particular knife as one of the best budget Gyutos for under $60? Well, first off, it's a $55 knife. And also, for $55, you will be really hard pressed to find a hand-forged high carbon steel knife with a traditional wah handle. Even for under $100 is hard to find. So for $55, you're getting a lot of knife for what you're paying for. The second reason I recommend this knife is because of the low barrier to entry. What I mean by low barrier to entry is for those of you guys who are wanting to get your first serious knife, or those of you guys who are wanting to test out and try Japanese style knives or try high carbon steel knives, this is a very affordable knife. That's what I mean by low barrier to entry. It doesn't require you to commit $100, $200, which is a lot of freaking money, to just test the waters. The third reason I like to recommend this knife is the ease of sharpening. The reason you're probably looking at a budget Gyuto is because you're looking to test the waters and getting your first serious knife. And if you're taking your knife a little bit more seriously, you're probably also thinking of trying your hand at sharpening. And the spring steels are an extremely easy and forgiving steel to sharpen. Now, I know there are guys out there watching this video going, man, you can spend an extra $30 and get a Tojiro DP with a VG10 or a Forza table with a VG10 core. Yes, you absolutely can. But that brings my fourth point on why I recommend this knife, and it is the cost to maintain it. The cost to maintain VG10 is a lot more than this spring steel. To properly maintain an edge for a VG10 knife, you're going to probably need several grits of stones, you're going to need a strap, some sharpening compound, things like that, and it all adds up really quickly. If you're looking for a budget knife, you're probably going to be on a budget looking for sharpening supplies. And for the spring steel, it is much cheaper. $20 Kingstone, 1000 grit. That's what I use, and it put a razor sharp edge on this sucker. And that's what I did for the Kiri Cleaver. 5 minutes on a 1000 grit Kingstone, stropped it on a piece of raw leather. Don't have a piece of raw leather? Use an old belt. Don't have an old belt? Newspaper. Don't have newspaper? Try to find some old cardboard. Don't have old cardboard? Find an old brown paper bag. You can strap your knife on a lot of different stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a lot cheaper to maintain compared to a VG10 knife. And that's why I recommend this as your first budget knife, or a good budget knife, compared to a VG10. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the sharpness test, because I know that's what you guys have been waiting for. So enough talking, let's go ahead and try to julienne this piece of carrot. I have a tomato here that I think I'm going to try to do the tomato test with, and possibly an onion. So let's go ahead and get started. Get this tip cut off first. No issues so far. Flat side. No flat side. No flat side. No flat side. Alright. No issues so far. Cutting straight through. Now I do have to say this knife is really nice on one thing for a budget knife, is how thin the knife is. So for a budget knife, you're not going to have to do a lot of, you know, blade thinning or things like that. So it's really, really nice. Cutting's clean through. It's not wedging at all because of the thin edge. So it's really, really nice. Julienne carrots with no issue whatsoever. Let's go ahead and test out this tomato. Let's try the tomato cut test, no touch cut test. It actually passed the cut test, so that's really nice. Very, very nice surprise. As you can see, it's still struggling a little bit with the no touch tomato test, but as far as just cutting through the tomato, there's no issues whatsoever. The thing we're going to try to cut is the good old onion. Peel it. And make some vertical slices. Like I said before, this spring still does react quite a bit to onions. So when you do cut an onion, just make sure you keep a rag around to keep the knife wiped off. Alright, fine diced an onion without any issues. Alright, as you guys can see, the knife did not perform bad at all. It actually performed better than I expected. So that's why I recommend this guy as one of the best budget Gyutos for under $60. And I hope you guys like the recommendation. If you do like it, if you can hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It'll mean the world to me. Help me support all of this madness. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.